Hi, it's Lily here from Dogfullife. First off, Happy New Year. If you're like me, you probably don't like setting New Year's resolutions. But one thing that I think is important is setting SMART goals for me and my dogs and sticking with them. If you haven't heard of SMART goals, it's an acronym that stands for setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Setting goals and sticking with them is really hard for things that aren't part of our paid work. Things like fitness, nutrition, and yes, dog training goals. So if you're interested in seeing examples of setting SMART goals for you and your dog, and quick tips on how to follow through on them, then this video is for you. I'll use my dog Patches as an example of how to set SMART goals. Patches is going to be 13 years old this year, and that's based off of an estimate that we got when we first adopted him. Right now he's healthy and he isn't showing any signs of slowing, but I know that as he gets older, he's probably going to have more vet visits, he may get canine cognitive dysfunction, and he's generally going to have an achy body. So the three themes I want to focus on this year are cooperative care, preventing cognitive dysfunction, and building a foundation in canine conditioning. Following the SMART framework, let's dive into the first theme, which is cooperative care. So for this theme, an example of a week goal might be something like, I will teach Patches animal husbandry behaviors this year. So this is a week goal because there are actually a lot of behaviors in animal husbandry, and it doesn't hit all of the SMART criteria. I need to target a specific area for improvement, so I'll focus in on teaching Patches a chin rest as a start button behavior so that he can opt in to getting his blood drawn and getting a shot. I also need to quantify or suggest an indicator of progress. So I want Patches to be able to hold a chin rest for at least 20 seconds while a vet tech draws blood or gives a shot. I'll track progress in a learning journal as well. Now I need to think about whether this is a realistic and attainable goal. So I do think this will be a difficult goal because Patches doesn't really like going to the vet office right now. But I do think it's possible if I follow the right steps. Does this align with my long-term objectives? So as I mentioned earlier, as Patches gets older, he's likely going to have more vet visits. So this is going to definitely make vet visits less stressful. So now I need to time-bound this goal. What's the target completion or end date? So Patches does need to have a distemper vaccination in July. So that's going to be my guidepost. So now that we've gone through all the criteria, we just have to put it together to create the SMART goal. So I'm going to read you the SMART goal I created for this one. I will teach Patches a chin rest as a start button behavior and hold the chin rest for at least 20 seconds so that by July, he will be able to have choice and opt in to getting a vaccination and blood drawn. So for the second theme, which is preventing cognitive dysfunction, I'm not going to go through all the criteria, but I will show you what a week goal and a SMART goal looks like for this. So a week goal might be, I will teach Patches some new behaviors to engage his brain. A SMART goal version of this would be, I will teach Patches 4 new behaviors this year, 1 per quarter. The 4 behaviors are filing his own front paw nails using a DIY scratch board, putting away his toys, bringing me at least 3 objects by name, and beginner scent work of finding a birch scent in a room. Every month I'll reevaluate his progress and adjust as needed. For the last theme, which was maintaining and improving physical fitness, an example week goal would be, I will work on some canine conditioning exercises for Patches. My SMART goal version of this is, I will teach Patches 12 foundation canine conditioning exercises, 1 new exercise per month. And I actually have a link for the 12 exercises that I'm going to teach. Every month I will reevaluate his progress and adjust as needed. So as a final example of setting SMART goals, I know that many dog parents set goals for solving problem behaviors. So let's take an example problem behavior of door dashing. So an example of a week goal might be, I want to stop my dog from running out the door. Now SMART goal version of this would be, I will teach my dog to stay in a sit position in front of an open doorway for about 10 seconds until I give the release cue. I will teach this in 1 month. Now that we've created our SMART goals, let's talk about how we can follow through on them. Now, luckily, creating SMART goals in itself is already a big step towards doing this because it actually makes the goals more actionable and more motivating. Here are 5 other quick tips that I have for you. Break down the goals into small enough steps so that each step is easy to do. Let's take the goal that we created for preventing door dashing as an example. Steps could include teaching a sit with duration, a sit while your hand moves towards the doorknob, a sit while your hand touches the doorknob, a sit while your hand moves the doorknob itself, a sit while your hand moves the doorknob and then opens the door a crack, etc. So you get the picture. Remove obstacles and set ourselves up for success. One of the best examples I've ever heard for this is actually unrelated to dog training. It has to do with creating the habit of running in the morning. One way to remove obstacles in this case is to actually sleep in your running clothes and to put your running shoes right next to your bed. That way, once you wake up and roll out of bed, it makes it really easy for you to just run straight out the door. In dog training, you can think of ways to set up the environment so that you make it really easy for your dog to learn whatever you're trying to teach them. You can also carry a training pouch so that it makes it easier for you to deliver treats. You can also cut up treats in bulk and portion them out so that you can just grab and go. Objectively track progress and data. One of the most helpful things you can do when training a dog is to record your training sessions. That way you can review them and then see what went well and what could have improved. Dogs also move so fast that it's very easy for us to miss subtle canine body language or even some subtle cues that we might have given that we didn't mean to. When reviewing the video, you can record objective data, so things like counting duration, counting the number of successful behaviors or incorrect behaviors displayed. That data can help us measure tangible progress and also tell us information about whether we need to change something. Recording the video also gives us a chance to share it with others for feedback, especially if we need help. Celebrate small wins. It's important to reward yourself and your dog for incremental progress. And if you've been tracking data, it'll be that much more easier to recognize progress. Hold ourselves accountable. To hold ourselves accountable, we can do things like scheduling dedicated time to work towards our goal on our calendar. We can share our goal with a friend or family member so that they can be an accountability partner, or better yet, a training partner. Share the workload. And definitely reconnect with why this goal is important. That's the relevant criteria we use to create the SMART goal. I hope all this information is helpful for you as you think about what goals you might want to set for you and your dog. Is there anything you want to work on or you want to teach your dog? Are there any problem behaviors that you're running into that you want to set SMART goals for? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you like this content, hit the thumbs up and subscribe button to get notifications of my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!